Hello and welcome to Nick Butts Chess. I'm Nick Butts and this is a rating run on chess.com. This is part 4. I try to do 3 rapid games in each segment, and I was on a 8 game winning streak, and in part 3 on my 9th game I had an ugly loss where I just kind of blundered. It was a bad game. So we'll try and bounce back from that and see how I can do today. So I'm going to begin, and we're playing 15-minute game with 10-second increment added after each move. And let's find an opponent here. So it's searching, and we're about to begin. Hopefully I can play better than that last game, which was not too great. Okay, I'll start off with something safer. We'll play d4, controlling the center, and the d4 openings usually tend to be more solid and less trading, more positional and maneuvering, where if you play e4, there's more trading in the middle and it's more tactical usually. So knight to f3, let's see what he does here. Interesting move. Move this f pawn. That's unusual. So I'll just continue developing by pushing my pawn up and preparing to move my bishop out and get ready to castle. Alright, let us see what he does here. Okay, so here he could potentially attack my bishop. So I'm just going to move to c3. So if I would have moved my bishop, he could have attacked it and I would have had to retreat. So here I'm going to move c3, and now I can bring this bishop up to d3 without worrying about this knight harassing it. And let's see what he decides to play here. So bishop to d3, and I'm ready to castle. And what will black do next? I should also look for weaknesses over here. He pushed this f pawn, which is usually not a good idea. It leaves a weakness, but now he is threatening a capture here, or sorry, threatening a fork. He could push his pawn forward, attempting to fork my position. So I'll capture his center pawn. And now the threat is on once again. So let me see what I want to do here. Could just back my bishop up, play it safe. And if I captured his e5 pawn and he captured and my queen checked him, forking the king and the knight could just move and block. And then I don't see... Well, let me look at this again. Okay. If I capture, he captures, check. If he moves his knight and blocks, my bishop could capture and check. So that's worth looking at. I think I'm going to try that. I better check it one more time, make sure this works. So if I capture and he captures, I check. If he blocks with the pawn, I capture, checking him again. If he moves his knight, I capture with the bishop. If he recaptures, I get his rook, or I can check his king. So let's do it. It'll surprise him that I made this move. again. Let's see what he does now. Will he block with the knight? Then my bishop can capture and check him. Ah, or did I miss? Did I miss a move? He can block by knight moving there. Okay. Well, let's see. So I sort of messed that up. Oh, that's just a little blunder right there. Okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? Yep, another little tactical oversight. I'm playing pretty rough here. Okay, so now if he blocked that, what else should I try here? What else should I try? I could move my bishop up to g6, pinning his knight, but what can he do then? Just guard it with another piece, moving his bishop out. Alright, well, I guess I will just castle. That was a little tactical oversight, so I'm pretty rusty, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. So normally I don't make little blunders like that. Alright, so now he's chasing me away. I have to retreat. What to do, what to do. Let me think here. I gotta retreat my queen. Alright, let's move here, see what he does. I have to regroup. Maybe I can pull something out in the end game. That was just an oversight. I overlooked one move that he could have made in defense, and so now I'm behind. Let's see if I can hang in there. All right. So he moves there. He could try and reposition his queen around for some attack. All right, I should develop another piece. All right, let's see what he does next. What will he do next? Will he push his H pawn out to, so if I capture his knight, he will recapture with his pawn. Okay, so he attacks my bishop. All right, what to do here? What to do here? Don't really want to trade pieces since I'm behind, but I don't know, I may be forced to here. So let us see. Alright. Do I have to capture his knight with my knight? That's the question. Looks like I do. So let's capture that. Trading pieces, which I don't want to be doing since I'm behind. But looks like I'm being forced to. Okay, so he moves his knight. Now I'm going to retreat my bishop, trying to keep my pieces. And let's see what he does next. All right. Well, it's not looking too good for me. I mean, at least his king lost one of its pawns over there, the F pawn, so I don't know, maybe I can get at his king later, but I mean, I have my bishop on c2 aimed at his h7 pawn. So at some point, maybe there's a possibility of swinging my queen up. Okay, so now he comes up here with this threat. And what can I do? What can I do? Well, I could fork his queen and knight. But would that do anything? All right, I'll go ahead and fork the queen and knight. Now, will he just push his queen forward or just move it back? Okay, so he does that. So now do I take his knight? And if I take his knight, can I survive the checkmate threat of his queen down here? Will I have an escape? Okay, let us see here. Let us see. Take the knight. If the bishop captures, also have to worry about this check. Alright, this is getting dangerous. Very dangerous. Well, what should I try here? What should I try? Do I just take this knight immediately? Or do I attack his queen with... Alright, this is going to be the turning point in the game. So, if I take his knight and he recaptures with the bishop, or he captures my rook first, what do I do? What do I do? Alright, let's investigate here. Investigate, investigate. Gotta just capture that knight. It's looking dangerous. All right. All right, I have to make a decision here. This is going to be the deciding factor in this game. Can I survive his attacks? Okay, let us move on here. Do I just attack his queen? I don't know. This is looking very dangerous. No matter what I do, I think I'm going to be in some trouble here because he's threatening to capture with this bishop here as well. So, do I take his knight? Can I survive that? If I do, All right. Oh, this is so dangerous. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm taking forever on this move, but I think it's going to be the deciding factor. So if I capture his knight, if he captures there and he's threatening to check me here, if I capture and he moves there, okay. Or if I take, he takes here first, then my queen moves up. All right, let's do it. Let's see how this plays out now. And I think I can force a trade of the queens here and relieve all this pressure finally. All right, I think that might be enough to hold him off, but it's still going to be tough. He had a pretty tough attack there. Sorry I took forever to make a move. All right, so now, do I just trade queens off? I think so, because then we're even on pieces, but I have this isolated pawn, so that's not so great. Okay. What do we want to do here? What do we want to do? Do I have any other options? Do I check him? Take that. I could take that d5 pawn and check him. Let's see what happens there. Oh, maybe I made a mistake. Now I'm going to have to worry about all this crazy attacking here. Well, maybe not. If the only thing, okay, does that, now I can check him again and just go after this queen trade and I'll be ahead of pawn. You have to watch out when the game gets crazy and tactical, and now my clock's getting lower. You start seeing some ghost threats that aren't really there. All right, what will he do next? I'll be able to trade the queens off and not have to worry about the threat of these attacks on my king. Okay, so now he moves there. I am going to capture the queen, and then I'll be able to take another pawn up here. So capture another pawn. Okay, so now what to do next? Push this passed pawn forward to release my other bishop. To watch out for his bishop getting into my, or sorry, his rook getting into my position here. So, all right, I need to push that forward and release my bishop to keep him off of my 7th rank. All right, let's see here. Let us see. Well, I'll go here. All right, I brought my bishop up to g5, trying to limit his king. And he didn't see that my bishop can capture his rook. So now I should win this game. He made a mistake by trying to bring his rook down on the 7th rank, which is normally good, but he didn't see that my bishop could capture it. So a lot of times beginners, under 1,000 rated, they like to get these crazy attacks going, and because it's more exciting, but then they have trouble in the end game. So study your tactics, study your end games. You see how I'm trying to improve and brush up because I took a break from chess and I feel pretty rusty, and the tactical mistakes happen when you're coming back from a break. Okay, what can we do here? I will move my bishop here, preventing him from being able to push his pawn and limit his king some, and I'm still protecting my pawn in the center. So I need to activate this bishop more by pushing it up into the center possibly. Okay, so now I think I will try to exchange some pieces off. Let's see. I think I will limit the scope of White's bishop by moving that pawn forward. And now his bishop cannot. Okay, I'll put him in check to see what he does there. Okay, he's trying to move down into my position. So I will swing my rook over, attacking his king. I'll have to watch out that his crisscrossing bishops don't capture my rook, so I always have to be aware of where to place my rook. That way my rook doesn't fall to the same fate that his did earlier, being captured by placing it on a bad square. Okay, he's trying to come down into my position, and I'm just going to move my bishop there to prevent his king from making any forward progress into my position. Now, he may try to attack my bishop, so if he does, I can just move it down, attacking his bishop. Okay, so if that happens, if I go here, see if I have anything better. Do I go here? I'll do that. I'll move and if we exchange, I'll lose a pawn out of this, if possibly. If he captures my bishop, I capture with my pawn. Okay, that's fine with me. I'll trade one of his bishops off. The more pieces I trade in this endgame, the more I'll come out ahead because I'll have that extra rook that he does not have. And so now, let us just attack his other bishop, see what he does with it. And now he's attacking this. So what would be my best option? I'll just protect it. And he's hanging in there, but I should win this game just by trying to push my pawns forward and getting one of them through. I have to get my king up into the center of the board a bit so it can do more. And alright, I'll move my king now. That way I can threaten his bishop. Next I can push my g-pawn forward, attacking his bishop. And I have to be aware of the clock too. I let it run down when I was in trouble earlier. Alright, so let's push him out. Alright, so his bishop will have to retreat. Okay, his bishop, okay, so it goes there. Now I can lock his bishop in to that position. Well, if I go there, he could just back his bishop up. So, do I really want to do that? I could try and... he's going to push this pawn, so let's do that. That way, if he does push that pawn, I can just capture. All right, so now what to do. Looks like, okay, so he pushes there. And I could probably just move my king up, which I think I'll do that. I'll move my king forward, get it in a little better position. And okay, so he moves forward. I could limit his rook some more by pushing this pawn up. But do I want to do that yet? I think first I will... I'll go ahead and do that. So now it restricts the area that his bishop has. So it retreats back. Now I could push this pawn forward, blocking him in with his own bishop on the same color, sorry, his own pawn. So here, when you have an endgame and the pawns are on the same color square as your bishop like this, it limits the scope and mobility of your bishop if your bishop is on the same color as your pawns. And so you see he has more room to maneuver over here on the queen side, but then I have my pawn blocking his pawn, or sorry, his bishop. Okay, so I am going to move forward, make some more progress. And let's see what he does next. He's probably just trying to run me out of time here. Okay, now I should bring my rook into this game. There, I'll block that pawn from being able to move forward. His bishop is restricted, and I'm attacking his bishop, so he'll have to move that bishop to the only good square, c7. And then I can attack it again and may be able to trap his bishop. So I'm going to move my rook up, you know, unless he doesn't see that this rook is attacking his bishop, but he should. So I could move his bishop. No, let's see. So the only spot that he can move his bishop, yes, is right there. So I attack it. Now he has to retreat back to the b8 square, and then I can trap his bishop on that b8 square with my rook. And so now it's trapped. He could try and take this pawn, you know, and then if he has to lose his bishop, he might as well take a pawn with it. And I imagine he's trying to play for a win on time, because I only have, well, less than 4 minutes, but that should be plenty in this position because I'm ahead now after that bad move in the beginning. Sorry, the bad choice in that tactical combination where I overlooked one move. So practice your tactics and double check to make sure you don't overlook a move that throws a wrench in the works of your tactical combination. Okay, so here he's probably trying to go for a stalemate of some type. He does have this h6 square to go to. So I will go here, and now he has plenty of room. I don't have to worry about any stalemate possibilities. And I will check him and box him in with my king and rook. So now we have check. His king will have to move, and I can slowly box it in. So let's box his rook in, or excuse me, box his king in with my rook. So he's in this small box, and we will close the box in further until we slowly trap him. And he should resign, but I imagine he's just playing for time, trying to get a stalemate as well. All right, so we'll go here. If he moves his king, then we will just waste a move by moving this bishop, forcing him back, and we can make the box smaller. All right, now we can take this pawn, forcing the king to move, and we can try to box him in even further. And so there, now he's trapped. He can only go to this h7, or excuse me, h8. So he can only go back and forth between h7 and h8. And so now we want to swing our king around to this side, and we will trap him in and avoid stalemate. And so here he's forced to go to h8, and then we can checkmate him with rook to h6. And checkmate. Okay, sorry that drug out a little bit after I played a little rough in the opening. But I hung in there, and a lot of people have trouble in the end game. So work on your tactics, work on your end games. We'll do a quick game review here and see what the game review said. That was kind of ugly in the beginning, but we're knocking the rust off, trying to improve. Okay, my accuracy was 80.2, his was 72.5. He had a brilliant move. We'll have to check that one out. We both had one great move. We tied at 20 best moves. I had more excellent moves, 19 to his 11. And then the inaccuracies, he had more inaccuracies, and we both had the equal number of mistakes. But anyway, he had 2 blunders and I had 1, so... All right, it says giveaway, nice comeback win. Okay, start the review. So, let's see here. My blunder, yes. Taking that tactical combination didn't work because I overlooked that. Taking that and the combination, he was able to block my queen check by saving his knight and moving it to f7. Alright, so best was me pushing this pawn. So if he captured, I could recapture with the bishop and possible queen exchange, but it would leave him with an isolated pawn possibly, or I could capture at some point. Anyway, we'll move. So I should have pushed forward there. And then here, bishop to c2 is a mistake. I'm losing material this way. Okay, so I should not have retreated my bishop. I should have not worried, I guess, if he took that. So best would be... And f4 pawn push. I thought about that move, but I didn't want to be left with this weak backward e pawn. But it's saying that I should have pushed this f pawn. That would have blocked some of his attacks here towards my king. So I would have been left with one weakness, but prevented all that attacking that was going on. Okay, so I had a great move with this, picking off this pawn, checking him, and then being able to retreat back to exchange the queens. But it says I shouldn't have done that. Okay. So that is a mistake. Best would have been interesting. Moving my bishop up. But I was worried about the attack threats. And that's the thing about attacking. You can force your opponent to see ghost moves that aren't there and make mistakes if you force them on the defensive with a good offensive attack against them. Okay, so it's saying that was a great move. Alright, I captured the pawn, and he made a mistake there. And in the end game, he was just behind material, so I just had to slowly push into his position and trade pieces off, and until I boxed his king in. Okay, let's well, one check. Yeah, my opening accuracy was terrible in this, 63.8 to his 85.3. But then in the middle game, I played better than he did. In our end game, both of us had an okay end game. Okay, let's get out of this window and play game number 2, and hopefully it will be a little more exciting and move a little faster. Okay, so if we want a new game, all right. I'm having issues with the internet here. So, it's trying to reconnect. So I'm waiting for the internet to reconnect. Hopefully that will happen shortly here. Alright, so it says reconnecting. Or what is taking so long here? Poor internet connection, guys. I apologize. Okay, so we'll try and get another game in here. 2 more if I can get this internet connection working. Okay, not sure what is happening here with this internet connection. Okay, trying the internet connection. It's waiting. It may be working now. Okay, so I refreshed. It looks like it is working. We are going to do a new game. Alright, let's get started, guys. New game. 15 minutes with 10-second increment. I have the white pieces and the clock is ticking. Alright, we'll try the same opening again just to try and play it a little bit better than the last game. Okay, he responded. Knight to f6. We'll play knight to f3 and see what black does here. Okay, this is a little different. He is using a King's Indian defense formation. So I am going to play e3. He does that. I will move to d3. I'm ready to castle now. And okay, so he moves there. I'm going to go ahead and castle, get my king safe. Now I want to try and push my pawn up to c4, helping to control the center. and move this knight up to c3. Okay, so we'll do that. And now he's a little cramped in there. He may fight for the center, okay, by this pawn push here. Okay, so here, what should we try? What should we try? Should we push forward and limit his mobility? Or do we just capture, or should I ignore? Push forward, possibly. I think maybe, okay, it's a little tricky here. So, do we just capture there in the center? Capture. Possibly do that. Possibly capture. He's a little restricted. So by trading pieces, it would be to his advantage because it would relieve his cramped position. So do I attempt to further cramp him? I think I will. I think I will push forward with this position. Preventing his pawn from making any future progress. But now if he captures here, if he captures, I will recapture. He could push forward and chase me away, but then he'll be left with this backward pawn. So he will not, it's not likely that he will do that. Okay, so what will he do next? If he lets me, I will attempt to push this pawn forward, closing up this position. Okay, so he pushes there. I'm going to develop, but I may push this to prevent him from attacking my bishop if I move it. So I'll do this first. To prevent his knight from coming up to g4 and chasing my bishop that I want to move to e3 here. Okay, so I have to recapture. But, yes, okay, I have to recapture there. And now, let's see what he does. So he's trying to put the pressure on that position. So I am going to, I'm just going to retreat my knight because I didn't want any surprises from his bishop. And I want to, okay, so he's threatening there. I can retreat my bishop, or I could let him capture it. No, I have more space, so I don't want to trade pieces. I want to keep his position cramped. But he has 3 pieces now attacking this pawn, so I think he can just snatch that pawn up. Which he does. Okay, so he snatches that up. what should I do next? All right, well, I will capture, which I probably shouldn't have done that. You don't want to usually capture when you're behind a pawn. You don't want to trade material off. You want to trade pawns off. And he'll probably recapture with his knight in the center. So now what would be best to do here? I'll bring my rook out. And now he has that strong knight in the center, which is... Okay, so he does that. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. He's threatening me there. So I have to capture now. Now I'm forced to capture. And well, it appears that I came out ahead in that. But let's see what he does next. He does have this attack here. Oh, great. And it looks like my internet connection is having problems again. It's trying to reconnect. And it looks like I've reconnected. Okay. And so here I'm ahead. Okay, he's trying to open the position there. I will capture, giving him an isolated pawn in the center. He's attacking my bishop. Okay. Do I just capture there? I don't want him to pin that bishop. Do I capture with the queen? No, I think I will retreat. And I will retreat here. Attack his rook up there on e8. But so he'll probably capture, putting me in check. I'll have to take with my queen. And then he has this threat here, but if he captures on b2, I can maneuver my rook into b1 and pin his bishop to his queen, so he can't do that. Okay, well now I get a rook with a check here. Okay, so he made a mistake. And once again, a beginner player under 1,000 trying for a crazy attack. And so if you just play solid and try and defend. So here he's resigned. And I still have some work to do. I'm still playing a little rusty, so but we got a win out of that. And let's do the game review quickly. Okay, and so for this game review, I had 90.6% accuracy to his 74.1. It says sudden, great win. You saw your chance and took it. So start the review. Okay, this bishop move was an inaccuracy. I left a pawn vulnerable to being captured. Oh, okay, yes, this right here. I did realize that was a mistake afterwards. So the best move, probably the rook protection. Yes, protecting with the rook. So that's what I should have done. He would have gained the bishop pair and my queen would have come up, but I would have avoided the loss of that pawn. But I got lucky. He made this mistake here, allowing me to capture his knight in the middle there. So I won material by capturing a knight. And then he overlooked this move. So king safety, that should be a priority. The first thing you check before making a move is, are you moving but leaving your king safe? So always check for king safety, that there are no unexpected checks that you did not see. And also look for the king safety of your opponent, and you might find a check or an attack that works. Okay. Let's see. So in the opening, I had 90.7. They had 96.8. So yes, I played a little rough in that opening. And then middle game, 90.3 to their 32.5. So they just blundered in the middle game. Okay, so let's play one more final game, guys. I'll get out of this window. And all right, start a new game. The internet connection looks like it's working, so hopefully keep our fingers crossed. No internet issues, and here we go. All right, I am at 1031 rating, playing a 976, and we'll try this D4 opening again, the theme for today, and see if they play it differently. Okay, and so I'm trying to set up a Kali Kali opening with knight to f3 here, and then pawn to e3 and bishop to d3, and the knight on the B knight usually jumps in here to d2. And so let's see how they respond, because sometimes people don't see this Kali opening as much, and it kind of throws them off. And it's a good system opening where you can just get a bunch of moves out quickly in the opening and not burn up too much time on the clock. Okay, so here he attempts to capture. So I could take that, but then it pulls my center pawn off to the side, and he'll attempt to regain it. So instead, I'm just going to protect that pawn by moving this up to e3. So if he captures, I'll recapture with the pawn, keep a central pawn, and then here I'm going to move my bishop to d3, and now I'm ready to castle. And let's see if some beginners will be excited at a check opportunity, and he could jump his queen to a5, but generally you want to hold back on checks unless you have a good follow-up. And so by him just checking here, it doesn't really do much. I can block in multiple ways, and probably just block with c3, fortifying this d4 pawn, and then castle on my next move. So that wouldn't accomplish much with him playing that queen check. But let's see what he does in this position. And so one move in the future that I may try to attempt is jumping my knight up here to e5 in this opening. And that's usually a decent move. So here, okay, he's attacking this, and he could jump down to b4 and attack my bishop. So I will fortify the center, prevent knight moves or a queen check, and I'm ready to castle. And so I also want to move this knight up here to d2. And let's see how the opponent responds here. And let's see, by moving that pawn though, I am a little behind in development, so he'll be able to move a piece here, you know, unless he moves this e pawn. But if he develops another piece, then he'll be ahead one piece, you know, 3 pieces to 2, and I'll have to catch up. So let us see what he does next. I also want to bring this knight to d2. That way, if he jumps his knight in here, I can attack it with bishop and knight together. Alright, so he's blocked in his bishop there. So I'm just going to develop this knight, which covers the c4 and e4 squares, but mainly this e4 square. So now if the knight jumps in, my bishop and knight can work together to capture, and if he captures, I can recapture his pawn. And so I'll get ready to castle on my next move. He'll probably move his bishop. D6 looks like a good attacking diagonal for him, which would bear down on my king side. And so as we wait for him to move, okay, so he does that, bearing down on the king side. I'm going to go ahead and castle. And I may push this pawn up here to prevent his knight from moving in, prevent any surprise attacks here. He could, you know, attempt a bishop sacrifice in the future here, attacking on h2, following it up with the knight check, and then the queen if my knight wasn't here on f6. So to prevent that, and there's a possibility of him pushing here. So if I push this pawn up to h3 and he pushes his pawn to h4 and then moves his knight here, if I would capture the knight and he recaptures, it would open his h-file and this rook down on my king, and so I want to avoid that. Alright, so he castles. I will go ahead, move here, prevent any little tricks with the bishop sacrifice, and wait to see what he does next. And I should also move this rook to e1. And as we wait to see what he does next, alright, so my plan is to move the rook to e1 onto this file that is half open, so I don't have a pawn here that would restrict my movement of the rook. So I put the rook on the e file, bearing down on it, and his e6 pawn. Try to prevent him from pushing forward in the center, which he may do that. He may push forward. Okay, so he does the same thing I did. So I'm going to move there, fight for control. Yes, he does the same. And so now I have to decide what to do next. I have to figure out how to get this bishop into the action. So let us see here. I could move this knight, then move my bishop up. All right. So if I remaneuver this knight on d2, where would be a good spot for that? All right, I'll just maneuver it here. And then lets me bring my bishop out. Okay, so he goes here, preparing to possibly line up. Okay. Now, where is a good spot for this bishop? I have to find somewhere to position this bishop. Here it restricts my knight, but I may... Let's see. Well, I should probably move this forward. Just move that bishop up, develop it. And I could try and reposition. If I could reposition my other knight into this spot and try and jump in if he captures my other... one theme in this opening is a possible knight moving in here to e5, and then if that gets captured and you have another knight positioned to also jump into that hole right here and use this for an outpost. But I don't see much happening there. So I just need to slowly reposition my pieces, connect my rook. So I got to figure out what to do with my queen. Okay, so if he's trying to jump into this area, what will I do? If I go here, okay, I can reposition my knight. But first, let's put the queen, develop the queen up a little bit, and I can leave this spot open here for my knight to jump back over. My rooks are connected, so now I have to figure out where I want my rooks positioned. Okay, so this bishop is bearing down on my king side, but there's still a lot of pieces in play that are preventing it from doing anything now, but in the future I'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, so now where is best to place my rooks? I could just double up on this file here, which may work. Which I think I would do that, but we'll go ahead and do that. We'll just pile up on the E file. Just pile up on the E file. And see if we can come up with some threat on that E file. And as he calculates, okay, he grabs some space on the queen side. So I should probably do the same. I will go ahead and do that. Prevent any forward progress by his pawn. And now he has this backward pawn here, which my bishop is preventing from moving forward. But he may remaneuver his knight and attempt to push that forward at some point in the game. But if I could get a knight in that position, that would not be bad at all. But to get a knight there, I would have to get my knight to the a3 square and then jump in there, or c3. So I don't know. I don't see a knight jumping in there anytime soon. Okay. Well, I guess I will continue to pile up onto the e-file with my rooks and see what white plans to do next. I'll have to keep an eye on this pawn. If I move this rook, I could move my knight out and it would protect. If I move my... okay, so he's piling up there. All right, all right. Well, what shall we try here? All right, he's trying to pile up there. I have to be aware of any kind of tactical trick by capturing with the knight and, you know, possible attack in the future down this file. So I'll go ahead and just continue with my plan of piling up on the E file. And we'll see what he does next. So this game has become more positional, everyone maneuvering, trying to see what they can do. Okay, so if he is threatening to come down here, that would be fine because I could attack the bishop and the queen, so I don't see any threat there. Okay, should I move this bishop? Move the bishop. I think that would be wise. Okay, we are going to move this bishop back to here. And now we could work on moving this knight back to d2, jumping this knight in here, and then potentially jumping the knight back to f3 and trying to fortify this e5 point. But let's see how he will continue here. How will he continue? All right. Here's a threat I have to watch out for. If he puts his queen here on c6, threatening a checkmate down here after the center clears out. So that is something to watch out for. Okay, so he does that. And now, what shall I do? What shall I do? Do I capture that? I would say yes, that I probably should capture that. But what will happen then? I capture, his pawn comes in. I cannot go after that right away. So, first I will threaten by moving this knight in to attack. Oh wait, I have to watch out. He could capture here. But then okay, I can recapture with a rook. But then he could have this pin. So that is something I have to watch out for. He could attack here, capture on f2. If I capture with the king or the rook, then his bishop would come down to g3, attacking whatever's lined up here, whether it's rook and rook or king and rook. Okay, so he decides to go with that. And then I let myself get kind of closed in here. Okay. It's getting a little tricky here, so I have to be careful. I let him gain some space. All right. What is the best way to proceed here? Possibly to just wait and see what he does. Wait and see what he does here. Could attempt to remaneuver. All right, I'll just remaneuver my knight down and maneuver this knight back to here, because I didn't want to just capture and then worry about a pawn forking my bishop and my knight there. So I'll just remaneuver, and his time is getting a little bit lower. So if I avoid piece trades and let the clock go down a little bit, it might put some time pressure on him. But my plan will be now to maneuver this down here, and I could potentially push his knight away. But it's starting to get a little tricky here. A little tricky. Okay, so he attacks this pawn, which is protected by my queen. And so do I just protect it? Then I would leave myself with this backward pawn, so I don't want to do that. So I will just attack his knight. If I attack his knight, well, now I'm a little cramped, and I do have to watch out for this bishop being trapped. If I move my knight here and he doesn't capture and I capture, then he could capture, trapping this. All right. Do I want to do that, though? All right. Well, We could reposition this knight over here, then threaten, come up there. All right, I think we will just play that. We'll just attack his knight, but I do have to watch out for my bishop being trapped. So it's getting a little tricky here. Now he's threatening this move. All right, I'm going to take that knight out. And now, what would be best? Have to watch out for him jumping in here with an attack. And so, may have to be careful moving this knight back and see what he does now. So now if his knight jumps down in here, I could trade this bad bishop off, which is blocked in by its own pawns. It's pawns of the same color. Okay, now he's going to try and play down this file, looking for pressure. So I will move my bishop up there to protect. And so, do I try and jump this knight up here? So he keeps this doubled up formation here. All right, all right. What do I want to do now? Well, I want to get this knight moving, this horrible knight. Both my knights are in pitiful shape here, so I need to do something to get them back in the game into a better position. But how? All right, so I will move let me think here, let me think. I guess I'll just bring this knight up, but should I go here, accept double pawns? No, I don't want to do that, so we'll bring this knight up here, see what he does. Okay, so here he has done that. Okay. And now what would be best here? Alright, we'll move over there. Attempt to get our rook, or sorry, our knight maneuvered back over. Alright, what to do now? What to do now? Okay, I'm at 442, so I'm burning up time. Let us just remaneuver. Alright, now he's threatening to pile up here. Alright, this is not doing anything. So let's see what would be best here. Well, we could go there. We'll try that. See what he does. And he's really piling up here, really piling up. So, what should I try to do here? Guess I could remaneuver. And now he is threatening there. If I go there, if he gives that up, I go with that. Alright, so he does that. What should I try? Guess I will go with that. And capture this queen maneuver. Alright, I have to be careful here. Do I jump into there? And if I do, can I run? Alright, let's start running. Oh, can't go there. Okay, I forgot he's got that other piece. Now I'm all boxed in. Do I go there? Alright, we'll do that. And it's looking ugly here. Looking really ugly. Looking really ugly. Okay, so he does that. What will that allow? I'm in check, so I gotta move. And I think I'm trapped. Another ugly, ugly game. Really ugly. Oh, that was just pathetic. Pathetic. Yep, I think I'm trapped. So he's gonna have a knight check. The only thing I can do is move up, and then he'll mate me right here. Yep. Oh, that was horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible. Just terrible, guys. Well, sorry you had to watch such a bad. Once again, I don't know. That was just pretty rough chess today. So I'll try and improve in the future. I just let myself slowly get clustered up and cramped until I got in trouble. So that's an example of what not to do. And if we look at a quick game review. Quick game review. That was bad. I just let him get into my position at the end there. Intense, tough game. My opponent played well. Alright. My opponent had some brilliant moves. Alright, so here, that was a mistake. Instead of capturing with the bishop, I should have chased the saying I should have chased him away. Alright. Well, it's funny how that game started out with him in a cramped position, and then I ended up in the more cramped position, and it led to my loss. So, and here, another mistake. Yeah, I just kind of let my pieces get really clustered up here. There's knights, I let them, I don't know, that was just some ugly play today. Alright, let's see here. All right. And so here, yeah, I was in trouble then. He had too many pieces piling up on my open king there. All right, well, thank you guys. I don't want to drag this out any longer. Hopefully you'll stay tuned to the continuation of this, see what happens next time. I'll try not to play such ugly games for you. And if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe and leave any comments. And thank you guys. Have a good day.